Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How's everybody been? Or welcome into the channel if you are new and looking up for the content. We're going to be going through Black Ops 6 in-game like file editing. Now, this is not out of the ordinary. People do this. If you've got a low-spec PC or you need those extra frames, this is for you. You are allowed to do this. It does say in the files that you are allowed to do this. But without further ado, we're going to go through it. So you've got to go into your documents, into Call of Duty, into players, and then we're going to find COD 24. There should be 4 of these. They should actually have different names, and they should be like text. See, TXT0, TXT1, and you want to go through. So I usually click through and make sure and check through all of them. The first one comes up. It's got nothing in it. Perfect. You don't have to edit that one. Second one comes up. You do have to edit this one. So we have to go through audio. I leave audio. So I'm going to go literally through one by one. So this is going to be as in-depth as I can possibly go. So we're going to scroll past all of the audio stuff. I haven't touched the audio stuff. I might have to go through and check the audio stuff. But for now, I'm not touching it. Possibly might make one and go through it if that's what people want. But today we're going to go through straight up like graphics and optimizing your PC for as much frames as possible for either people with low-end PCs or people who want a just extra frames really. So we want to go through and just check these things. So the first one is this is your in-game monitor specific stuff. So I'm just going to leave that. That's personally up to your monitor. But if you do run a standard monitor, the one you do want is wide 16:9. Mouse window gameplay, constraining it. So that's if you've got one monitor, it'll stay on. If you've got 2, you want it to be full so you can then click between. If not, don't worry about it. This one here, I haven't touched this one, but I would always go with the one on the left, which is usually the one that is the least taxing on the PC. Same again here, full screen borderless. That's just because I have 2 monitors, and obviously while I'm streaming, I need to click off, click back on to sort things out, change settings. Focus mode is when you're in your monitor, you're on your main monitor playing the game, your other monitor will then like turn off. It will go like black screen. So you have like you're fully focused on the game, and it will give you the most frames possible. But same again for someone like me who creates content and streams, you want that to be false so you can then switch between without having any issues. Color space, same again on the left. No, we've already done that one. Focus mode. Okay, 0. That's just same again, focus mode. This is your monitor that you want to use. I usually leave that alone. Full screen preference, same again, borderless, so I can switch between. The monitor refresh rate, you want to make sure that matches your monitor refresh rate in your settings. To check your monitor refresh rate in your settings, you need to go to, this is Windows 11. So show more options, personalize. No, that's wrong. You want to go show more options, display settings. And then you want to scroll down to advanced display settings. And then it will tell you, so this is my second monitor, is 360. So you want it to be 360 and 11. And then also for the other monitor, it is 127. But the game picks it up as 127.0001. Whatever it is. VSync disabled. You never want VSync on. VSync creates, it has less tear, but it does increase input lag. So you do not want VSync on. We don't like input lag in FPS games. No, thank you. Window height, same again. This is a monitor specific thing. Windows is maximized on boot. True. I haven't touched that one personally. Windows width and Windows position, X, Y. Leave them alone. They are for your monitor specific, and the game will pick it up and it will do it for you automatically. So the next one down is percentage of window resolution at 3D scene rendering app. So I have this at 75, which is 75% in game, because I am on a 1440p monitor and I play on 1080p when it upscales up to 1440p. But that's personal preference. Most of the time that will be at 100. So either try moving that down to 75 or leave it at 100. If your picture looks awful, just put it back to 100. You can actually do that setting in game. Most of these settings are in game. There's only a few hidden ones that are here that we're going to go through, and we're going to make sure that we turn them all the way down, because you can't actually adjust them in the game, but they are able to be adjusted quite a few times. in the files, which is crazy to me. So in video low latency mode, I play about with mine and make sure that you go into your settings in the game and do the benchmark. Try it with enabled, plus boost. One will be better than the other. Mine was better with enabled. So full screen resolution is, that's what I run it on in game, is 1080p. This monitor is a 1440p monitor, but we run it in 1080p just for the extra frames, really. But you obviously don't have to do that. If you want to run 1440p, just leave it at 1440p. Or if you've got 1080p, leave it at 1080p. Synchronized frame disabled. That is, it prevents screen tearing. So it's very similar to like VSync, but it does increase input lag. So leave that disabled. Custom frame rates. This is also another in-game setting. I put that on true because I have them capped at my monitor's refresh rate. Not that I'm going to hit them anyway, because this game is very taxing, but I have that on true. This is one of the ones that you can't change in-game. So this is one of the ones you do want to change, and you want the answer here to be 0. So anything here, it will say something equals, and you want the equals to be between these two ranges. So obviously the lowest is 0, so AI corpses is 0. Adds blur and out or focus areas when aiming down sight. This is an in-game setting you can change. False is probably best for visual clarity, so I would whack that on false. This is a game that you don't... I can't remember if you can edit this in game or not, but I would always edit this in the game files anyway and just whack it on low, because low or high, if you've got a low-end PC, you're not going to be wanting to run things on high. So we're just going to whack that on low for now. This is into the custom frame rates for in-game. So obviously my max in-game is my monitor's refresh rate. I'm never hitting 270 anyway. I barely ever hit 200. So I don't have to worry about that, but I put it on the max anyway, just so it's not using extra frames. Custom frame rates while in menus. I put it at 70 just so it's a little bit cleaner than 60. You can leave that on 60 though. 60 is perfectly fine. And I put out of game for 60. So obviously if I'm clicking out of stream, the game doesn't look all choppy in the background for stream while I'm doing things. So just a top tip, if you're streaming or content creation, put it on 60. It just looks nicer for when you're not on the actual game instead of it being a little bit choppy. Top tip there. Now, these are the ones that you cannot edit in-game. You have to edit in the files. And limit blood effects, you want this to be true. You want there to be as little blood effects as possible, as obviously each blood effect is going to tax your PC harder. So you want that to be on true. And also limiting blood effects, you want that to be on the minimum number, which is 1. So we whack it on 1. Blink rate, same again. Minimum number, 1. Duration of invalid command hints. I've got that set to 1500. I think it's set to 1800 on standard. I need to play about with that a bit more, but so far I don't think that has an effect on your frames. Some of these do have a big effect and some of them really don't. So far I've not seen a big change, so I'm going to leave it for now. If I go back through, we can always change it here. Once again, cursor location on the map, I've left this alone. These two, completely left them alone. The next one is the marks on the enemies. Marks on the entities. For players, bullets only. False. We don't want anything that doesn't need to be there. We don't need marks on entities. Sorry, we don't. So that's on false. Show blood effects, false. And weapon ejects brass, false. Same again, blood effects. You still do see blood effects in the game. It's just limited. And same again, ejects brass. You do still see the brass being ejected from the gun when you're shooting. It's just a lot less taxing on your PC. So far so good. We're going to then go down into the graphics. And the graphics settings are going to be... I personally have left this one alone. But if you want, put it on the SMA. As it's the furthest one to the left, which usually means it is the best for taxation on your system. So like it taxes the system the least. Render resolution target, I've got as none. This, I'm guessing it's for like your monitor refresh rate. So you could put it on one of these, but I've left that alone. That was set to none on by standard. Show bullet impacts, false. That's like when you shoot a wall, the bullet impacts in a wall. It's not needed. It does help for realism, but we're not going for realism here. We're going for extra frames. So set that to false. Corpse culling, we've put that to the minimum. So once again, just copy that. Paste it in here. We want that to be on the minimum. Your corpses don't need to be cold, right? We don't need that. So we're going to put that on the minimum possible because why not? This is your GPU. Leave that alone. Reflection of the probe relighting. Same again, furthest to the left, we want that on 1. We want to have as much frames as possible. Screen space shades, screen space shadows off. It's the lowest setting we can put on, so we're going to whack it on off. Same again with the next one down, off. For the screen space reflection quality level, no thank you. We don't need screen space reflection to be twisted. We need our frames to be twisted. Same again here, number of ST log. We don't need this. 0. Whack it on 0. Tessellation quality, 0 off. What I usually do is just copy, put it in there, paste. You cannot make any spelling mistakes. You cannot get it wrong. Copy, paste, standard. Texture filter quality, minimum. Same again. Texture quality here, the higher number means lower resolution. See, they give you little hints in here. You want that to be 3. There's settings in here that you can't change, but it tells you not to change them. They do want you to go into the files, and they do want you to change them if you need to. They put hints in here for people to go in to change it. If they didn't want people changing it, they wouldn't allow people to change it, or they wouldn't give them hints. So if they mess up, that's on them. That's not on anyone else. Like if you mess up and your game doesn't work, that's on you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's on you. We've got UI quality auto. I could put that to 1080p. I'm just leaving it on auto. It's automatically set to auto, so we're going to leave it. World streaming quality options, we've put on low or high. Same again, we want low, we want the lowest number. The contrast strength for the shape. All right, that's your sharpening. You can actually change this in game, so just leave that one alone because you can actually change that in game. Fidelity, I've put to CAS because obviously you can either pick one or the other, or you could put it to off. And these are the ones where you really want to start. These are the ones where you can change the most and they have the most effect in game. Just realized my camera wasn't on, so we've put that on now because why not? You all love seeing my beautiful face, so it's there now. We're going to carry on. That is literally irrelevant to the video. We don't need to say that. So these ones are the ones that make the biggest difference in game. So what you want to do is you want to highlight the one here. See, like I've got maximum quality here. You want maximum performance. So Control C, highlight over here, Control V, maximum performance. And what I usually do is when you're finished, you just file, save. We're going to do it again later on. The next one down, ultra performance. See, most of these are going to be on high settings. You don't need them on high settings. So you're going to bring them down, put them on maximum performance, ultra performance. We're then going to go down here, false, that I'm pretty sure is auto on false, low quality. I think this one's set to high quality, and some of these are set to like maximum quality. That one was set to maximum quality. For what reason? We don't need it on maximum quality. Even if you're gaming in like 4K, you still don't need these on maximum quality. So we're going to go through here. Deferred physics, low quality. I'm sorry, the physics don't need to be perfect. And the thing is, they still look amazing even with all these settings put down to as low as possible. So just whack it on low. Low quality, copy, paste, done. Ray tracing, off. Simple as. No one wants to ray trace in an FPS game. Dynamic scenes, false. You can turn these to true, and sometimes, not this one, a different one later on, you turn it to true, and like, you know those dynamic scenes you get every time you enter the game? It will turn those off and put you straight in. It's actually quite good to do, and I might do that. Frame time, I've just left that one alone. Same with these ones. Ultra performance, furthest to the left is exactly what we want. Copy paste. Resizable bar true for graphics cards that have resizable bar. If you don't have resizable bar, this option will either be false or it won't even be there. DLSS, furthest one to the left. Ultra performance. Sharpness 0.2. I don't actually use DLSS, so this sharpness is pretty much irrelevant. But DSSR performance mode, if you are using DSSR, make sure it's ultra performance. NVIDIA DLSS, I've got that off because I'm not using it. And same with the scaling, I've got it off because I'm not using it, or false as it says. NVIDIA scaling, see balanced. You can go down another one, copy and paste. So if you ever use it, it will be on maximum performance. That's exactly what we want. We want maximum performance. Scaling sharpness, you can change that in game. Ambient lighting quality off. We want graphics quality preset minimum. So we're basically just going through here, changing all of these to the furthest one to the left. Same with here. Model quality levels, low quality. Particle physics, you know, very low. Anything that's furthest to the left and it's not the furthest to the left, you just want to bang it on there. It's just shadow quality, very low. You don't need the shadows to be perfect. They're still there. They're just the quality of the shadow is less than it would be before. HDR off, always have HDR off. HDR increases input lag and also reduces frames, so turn HDR off. Persistent damage layers, false. Half resolution, I've put this to true because half resolution on the reflections is then going to make it less taxing, surely. Motion blur, we want off. No one ever wants motion blur. Make sure that's off or false, as the case may be. The settings are either default, medium, or low. Stick it on low for the shader quality settings. And then Catmull Clark, you want to make sure this one's on 0. Same again. The lowest setting you want to put it on. Catmull Clark is actually quite taxing, so make sure that is as low as possible. Dynamic scenes off. The resolution of the scenes off. The next one down off. The next one down false. Rate shading false. Basically anything that we can do, we're putting it on minimum. Memory mode description extra small. Volumetric quality low. Low quality. Low, medium, or high? No, we want low. Water off. We don't even need the water in the game. Just remove the water from the game. You don't even want to see it. You do still see it. All of these being off or false, you still do see the water, just to let you know. False for the waves. Off for the water grid volume quality. Interface, HUD elements on. I do believe most of these actually are left to normal. Skips intro movie that plays when the game starts is true. That's the one that skips the movie. Every time you start, it plays a movie. Or every time you do an update, it starts the movie. Get that gone. We don't want that there. Out you get. Controls if the seasonal players start. We've put false. We don't want the seasonal ones either. Video logs. See, we leave that. Cursor, I've left that. I think I've left this and I've left this. Game and mousepad, we don't actually use game and mousepad, so, or gamepad, but I've actually left those alone. But you can go through for these. System, you see, like, do not modify. Do not modify. You don't want to modify those. Detect hardware changes. Do not modify, do not modify. Like it's saying, basically, leave them alone. You're going to break something if you do it wrong. So we're not going to change any of those. We're just going to file, save. See, that's the first one. That's the second one done. So now we want to bring up the notepad and do the third one down. And each one of these, you want to go in and check and make sure all the settings are done. We're going to run through them all. Obviously, from the top, we've done 1, we've done 2. We're on to 3, and then there is a 4th one. So we're going to go through. We're going to go through audio. Once again, we're leaving audio, so we're going to go straight down to display. Most of this should match, and if it matches, leave it alone. If it doesn't match, change it. So if it doesn't match, we're going to go down here, and we're going to say full screen borderless, focus mode false, 0, monitor refresh rate's actually wrong. That's for the other monitor, but that's fine. Y position, monitor stuff, most of it you leave alone. Gameplay is the one where you want to come into. So custom frame rate's true, perfect. AI corpses, 0, so it matches the other one. Blurs on aimed on sight, false, matches the other one. And just make sure all of these match the other settings, basically. Limit blood effects, true. 1, which is the minimum. 1500, which is the same. That's the same, that's the same. These 3, which is the bullets only. Blood effects, eject brass, false, false, false. Which also matches the other settings from the one before. Most of these do collide with each other, but some of them don't have the same settings, so make sure you do change them in all 3. I know it's tedious, but get it done once, it's done then. Okay, we'll go through, same with again, farthest to the left, we've got SMA, none, false for bullet impacts, lowest for Catmull Clark, not Catmull Clark, culling threshold, Catmull Clark's the one further down, 3080 Ti, just make sure it matches. 1, which is the lowest, off, which is the lowest, off, which is the lowest, 0, which is the lowest. For the shadows, look how much that number could be. That's crazy. 0, 0 off. Anything furthest to the left, do it. Apart from this one, which is furthest to the right, but it does actually tell you that that's the furthest to the right. Auto for the quality, I leave that one alone. Low, which is the lowest. I've left this one alone because you could change that in game. CAS. See, this is maximum quality. See, what you want to do here is highlight maximum performance. Control C. Control V. I'm going to save. And we're going to go down. Ultra performance, which is furthest to the left. False. Low quality. Off. False. Left that one alone. Ultra performance, which is the best. Resizable bar true. DLSS. Ultra performance. Sharpness scaling, you can change it in game. Ultra performance, which is good. False. False. Maximum performance is what we want here. So Control C. Control V. File. Save. Off. Minimum. Low quality. Very low. Very low. Just copy and paste all the ones from the left. Same again. Off. False. True. False. Low, which is the lowest setting. 0 for the Catmull Clark. That's what we were talking about earlier. Off. Off. False. False. Extra small. Once again, copy and paste. Quality low. Off. False. Off. Interface is all in-game. Mouse and gamepad, which is the same system. Just make sure it all matches up, which it all does. Thread count. To change your thread count, you need to go into your task manager. And in your task manager, so you go into your task manager through like this. Bring your task manager up. Task manager is here. You go into performance. Click on CPU. And it says your core count here. Now, obviously, usually you go one under your core count. So mine would be 19. The maximum it's allowed is 16. So I've left it at 16. So if your PC says 10 here, you want to put 9 in. If your PC says 8 here, you want to put 7 in. Not that it matters too much, but obviously the more you have, the better. And then same again, file, save. And then we're going to minimize that for a second and do the last one. Double click and it brings it up. Audio, we're leaving alone. So scroll straight down to display. Make sure everything's the same. Wide, false, RGB, borderless, or if you want more, full screen gives you more frames. But borderless just because I'm a content creator, like I say. False, 0, monitor, refresh speeds, display, all of this good stuff. Monitor position. Gameplay is the most important. Frames, AI corpses, 0. Just make sure they all match. Low, that's the same. True, this. Make sure they all match. That's all we got to do. False, false, false. SMA, none. False. Lowest it can be. Matches your graphics card. 1, off, off. 0, 0, 0, off. You know, we just got to match. Just match, 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 match. Low, obviously I've already done these before, so I don't have to keep inputting them. But same again, this is on maximum performance, which is good. See, the other one was on maximum quality, I believe. This is on ultra performance, which is good. False, you want the furthest one to the left always. Some of these would even be set to like maximum quality. You're going to get extra frames, but just setting them down. Low quality, false. For this one, false. Then low quality, off, false. I've left this one alone for the frame timing. But it's for the dynamic scenes, so it doesn't really matter. Ultra performance, resizable bar true for my graphics card. Ultra performance, DLSS. 2 for the scaling, you can change the scaling in game. Ultra performance, false, false. Maximum performance. Image scaling, you can change in game. Off. Minimum. Low quality. Very low. Very low. Off. False, false, or not false, true, false, sorry, my bad. Low, which is the minimum. Catmull Clark again, 0, make sure it matches. Off, off, false, false, extra small. Quality low instead of low quality, but it's the same thing. Off, see if it has an off option, turn it off. If the lowest quality is quality low, put it on low. If it's extra small, put it on extra small. Off is best. But if it doesn't go off, then low is, you know, the next best. So like off instead of low is better. False, good. Same with these. These that you don't really need to change much. It's the interface in-game, which most of it you can change in-game for the interface. Mouse and keypad, I've left them alone for the inputs. And then, yeah, and then same again. I think there's a thread count here. Yeah, just make sure it matches. And then all of this is done. File, save. And then you're actually done. Once you've filed and saved, I would actually just close out all of these. And then what you're going to need to do is once you've done all of these and you've saved all of these, you want to go into your Call of Duty, and then you're going to need to refresh your shaders on PC. So you need to then refresh your shaders, and as soon as your shaders have been refreshed, your game will be working perfectly and you will be having a lot extra frames. So let me know in the comments how much extra frames you've got from using this. So make sure to smash that like and subscribe, and I'll catch everyone in another stream or video sometime soon. Peace.